Twice now. Interesting.
Yes.
Well, listen, we are live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geek Boutique podcast for, I guess, April 7th. Birthday's coming up. April's a big month. My mom's birthday, my girlfriend's birthday. A lot of April birthdays. And there's Nook saying, hi, Rob. Hi, Pops. Hi, Nook.
Hey, Nook.
So, like I was saying earlier.
What's going on? I'm gonna hi? This is bullshit.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you're a bit of a jerk to people, but
I quit.
Hey, listen, we're going to talk about tech and cosplay today, but before we get into that, a couple things I want to mention. First of all, if you're watching, make sure you stick through to the end because I'm announcing today the winners of our little t-shirt giveaway thing. Actually, there really was only one person that followed all of the instructions. I'm going to do a little something special for that person. And then I'm going to give another t-shirt away just because, again, somebody went the extra mile. I'm not going to announce them right away. I'm going to let you guys sit and simmer. We're going to talk about those people a little bit later on. But today, we're going to talk about tech and cosplay returning. I don't know. I've lost count now how many times you've been here. But Rob, the bad guy, my buddy Rob. How's it going, bud?
Awesome. How you guys doing?
Aces
coming up. Aces. Yeah, no.
Aces.
Gotta roll the hard
Mr.
six.
Jeff, Messiah Complex Cosplay, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, it's good. No. It's like like
wow,
you're saying.
You don't
April's
seem so sure how well it's going or not.
That sounds like my week.
April's a busy month, and May's looking pretty. The next few months, things are filling up fast. Every weekend, something seems to be going on. So I just need some rest time. And now I'm working overtime on Saturday, and so I'm really burning the candle.
Oh, fun times.
So, it's money.
As in the next few Saturdays, or as in Easter weekend Saturday?
This coming like in 2 days. I'm working 6 hours of overtime at work.
Oh,
like
I see.
Shift. Yeah, so. Yeah, but
right.
I mean, hey, cosplay I have an expensive hobby, so
yeah, gotta pay for it somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So I got suits sorted.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, I haven't done anything this week. I've actually been on vacation. Well, let me back that up for a second. It's not that I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything cosplay related this week.
Oh, well,
I've been painting the house. I am on vacation this week, so I have taken. And my parents are in Toronto for the first time in almost 6 months. So, opportunity for us to not only get together, but like I said, we're painting the house. We're drinking a lot of alcohol.
As you should.
And, doing other stuff. And, it's been a fun week so far, and the week's not over yet. But, it's been good. It's been good.
Nice. We'll take it.
So, for the people watching us on YouTube here, what I was telling people on Instagram earlier is that today's theme is going to be tech and cosplay. We're going to be taking people's comments. So if you have any questions, if you have any stories, comment whether you're on Instagram or right here live on Facebook or YouTube. We're going to answer some of your comments. We're going to talk to you guys as much as we can. I want to hear everything from horror stories to cool gadgets to whatever it is that gets you going when it comes to technology, specifically in cosplay. Now, why don't we start there? I mean, Jeff, not typically, you do a lot of the spandex suits, the Spider-Mans and the Omni-Mans, and so I feel like technology is not something you tend to do a lot in your cosplays, or am I out to lunch there?
No. The spandex thing is a relatively recent thing. I mean, I did Negan and the Comedian for years.
Fair enough.
And then on top of that, right? So there wasn't any technology per se. Would I love to add some to cable? Especially, I'd like to design a new arm, and I would like to put a lot of electronics and lights and shit in the arm. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not the tech guy. I get lazy. I get real, and I just like, looks good enough. Let's go with that. But you guys, I mean, shit, the whole Predator thing. I mean, come on, that
was all this guy, right? I mean, most of the lights and sounds and all came right from this guy. Maybe you can do a little bit of a rundown, actually, on what we did with the Predator suits as far as tech goes.
With the Predator suits? Oh, you might have to stop me because I could go on for a while.
No. Go on for a while.
So with the Predator suits, why don't we start with, I actually have most of it right here.
Perfect.
Queued up, ready to go.
It's almost like you knew what we were going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, well, I had very short notice, by the way. 2 hours is a little bit not enough to prepare. But
it's hard to have a tech and cosplay talk without our technical director in the chat.
That is the appointed name that I've been given. But so
hang on, Doug is saying I can help you with that. I'm an engineer. Doug, unfortunately, Jeff has now gone MIA. Whether he comes back or not is there we go. He went to get a drink. That comment I think was aimed at Jeff. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say, let me start by saying I am not an engineer. I am an IT guy who just kind of figures it out as he goes, DIY. So I'm not pretending to be an expert here. I'm just going to show you what I've done. And I'm very interested in what other people are doing. So feel free to drop all kinds of stories in the comments. We'll talk about it. I'll just tell you what we've done. So a lot of people will, a lot of the experts might use Arduino to do a lot of this kind of stuff. But I'm not I don't know Arduino yet. I'm just kind of basic LEDs. But with the biomask, JS 3D printed the biomask, but the basic lasers, those are just 3 LEDs built right into the mask. And what we do is we use these battery packs for the
coin cell battery packs, yeah.
They are 2032s. That's the voltage basically that all the just generic LED uses, right? The 3.3 volts. Wire those up and put them there. Very simple to do. Doesn't require an engineering degree, but high impact in my opinion, right? So that's all I did for the biomask. We just flip those on and go.
The RISC computer is where I feel most of the lighting went for sure.
Most of the lighting went into this now. So we just, JS is the one with the 3D printer. So he built this top part. This is 3D printed, and I just wired up all the LEDs to one of these battery packs. There's 2 of these that are crammed right into the.
You can see them well on the Instagram. We didn't get to see them on the Instagram. There we go.
They're just simple LEDs, wired all up in series. Positive, negative, back to the wires on the battery pack with a soldering iron, but high impact, and that's what I love about what I bring to the table here. Is I think sometimes you can just push it that much further with a little bit of tech, right? And that's all we've done here with these simple LEDs. Now, if I knew how to program an Arduino and, you could you could go all as big as you want.
Yeah, have lights flashing and sequences and all that stuff.
Little mini LED screens. Yeah. And, that might be for the next version of the Predator. But for this one, simple LEDs. What else?
Well, the other big thing was the sound. Predator? Yeah, the other big thing was adding the sound.
The sound.
Yeah. Rob calls me one day or FaceTimes me one day or whatnot and says, JS, I found this kit online that has a speaker, a battery pack, the control board, the buttons, everything for us to be able to add sound called up on buttons. So that's why when we're on the con floor, we can make different sounds because we've got 4 buttons in our hands. Although you've changed that system now. You've gone to a magnet system. Maybe you can. Yeah,
I've changed that. So version 1 of this, you can Google this. I found it from electronics123.com. Just Google cosplay sound glove. You'll find what I did. It's not proprietary. And the beauty of it is it's designed to be what it is, an MP3 board, basically. You don't have to program it yourself. You just load on the sounds you want, wire up the buttons to the right places on the board, and you're good to go. So this is what it came with. These are just push buttons. And originally what we did is we kind of wired it through our costume right into our hand so that we could just finger down on the buttons, which had its pros and cons. It worked really well, but
it was okay, but the buttons would move around and then you're trying to find them under your glove, and it worked, but it wasn't ideal.
It wasn't ideal. So when we were at Fan Expo last year, at the time I didn't realize what I was about to happen to me, but we were coming up on Foam Armory. Am I getting that right?
The Foam Armory booth.
Foam Armory booth.
Ben Eady's booth.
JS is like, oh my God, it's Ben Eady. And I'm like, who the fuck is Maniti? And then it's like, this is the guy from the Ghostbusters, which started to become instantly cooler. And we started chatting with him, and he started giving me some tips and tricks. And he started telling me about magnetic switches. So I'm sure many people probably use these earth magnets in their cosplays for other purposes.
Yep.
But basically, he was saying, you know, all you have to do is embed one of these, not embed it, but put it in your glove on your finger or something. And when you just rub it past the magnetic switch, it triggers the sound or the light or the effect you're trying to do. And that was a light bulb for me. So I was like, I'm redoing my glove or my gauntlet. And, you know, now I've got 3 of them on here. And just because they're so small, well, actually, I'll show you what they are. They're reed switches. It's called a reed switch. And they're tiny.
The idea is there's no actual switch you have to press. You just swipe your magnet over it and it activates it.
So it's just a tiny little piece here. You connect the wires. Yeah, you can barely see it. That's the beauty of it. And all you got to do is run the magnet over it. It's like a normally open, and when you run the magnet over it, it closes. It triggers the button press, and the thing you've connected it to goes off. So hopefully, that makes things a little bit easier than having the wires running up my hand. I haven't actually field tested that one yet. We're waiting till another opportunity to bust out the Predators, but yeah, so that's basically what we've done so far in our Predator.
Jeff is snacking on M&Ms.
Just Hannah said, watches Jeff eat salty nuts.
I know.
No, they are peanut butter M&Ms, and they are the greatest snack candy that God has ever created on this earth. I want to snack while I'm hearing them talk about the cool tech shit, man. Cut me some slack. It's fascinating.
And then yeah, like the speaker we just embedded in these whatever things that go around our neck, and it's actually, so this kit comes with a 10-watt speaker, which when you're trying to cosplay as an intimidating space alien such as the Predator, the louder and better the sound, the more impact, right? We were taking these out at Halloween, and we wanted to be, you know, at one end of the street, kick off the sound and have people from blocks over go, what the heck was that, right? And I think that we achieved that goal.
Yeah, 10-watt speaker was plenty loud. It was amazing. Even on the con floor. I mean, all day when people saw us, they'd be like, that's what we could hear through the whole con floor.
Where did you get the little the buttons? Because I've seen obviously the rechargeable USB battery packs, like the power packs. Where did you get the button cell power pack from?
So that the power pack for the sound for the buttons, that is actually
no, sorry, for the lights that you had in the helmet.
Oh, the coin cell battery pack. So just from Amazon.
Yeah.
Probably from
Amazon.
Yeah,
cool.
Most of the stuff I bought off Amazon, or if you're willing to wait, AliExpress, get things cheaper or more in bulk. But
yeah, that's fair.
And actually, for the longest time, there was no local store around here where you could buy this kind of stuff. But a new store opened up called Great Hobbies near us.
Nice.
And they've got all kinds of this stuff, which I was meaning to tell you, JS. But
oh, yeah, I didn't know about this. Where is this place?
We could talk about it after, because no one's going to know where the Taunton and Harmony Plaza is. But
really, there's a hobbies place in the Taunton
Great
Harmony
Hobbies. Plaza. Yeah, so when we were building drones back a few years ago, when we were in that, they have all the pieces you need there. Like they sell 3D printers and filament and models and all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, we've got a bunch of more people that logged on here. We've got Tim, Black Captain Kirk, that's joined us. C2 Cosplay has joined us. Messiah Complex Cosplay is somehow,
choking on the M&M there. You're right
choking
there,
on
Jeff?
M&Ms and
on the
chatting on the board here.
Hey, man. I'm the thing.
So, Jeff, so like you were mentioning, so you've done a couple of other cosplays other than, the spandex suit type stuff. Have you ever integrated any kind of tech in your cosplays at all?
No, I put together a fan for when I have a Deathstroke helmet, and I just wired up literally like a USB power pack to a computer fan, and had it in the helmet and had it running in touch, because it's just so hot But yeah, no, the plan is I have some strippable LEDs, so I would like to do it, but I don't want to put them in my existing cable arm because my existing cable arm is pretty much on its last legs. Because when we built that, I wore it a lot, and now it's just worn out. So my good friend Ether Bloom there, that was in the chat earlier, has a 3D print file for a new cable arm, so we're going to work on that. But when we do, I would like to do something similar to what you guys did with your Predator thing. Is I would like to work in some lights into it, some brighter white LED lights like he's got in the movie there, and see what works, see what happens. But yeah, other than that, no, I usually let the tech take care of itself. Like I've got lightsabers because that's cool and they make sounds and all that, but I didn't do any of that. I do what I always do, JS. I just pay somebody else to do it. So I don't have the time or the patience to do it, but I have the money to make somebody else do it. So that's what I do. Yeah, but kudos to you guys for doing it on your own, because I do appreciate that. And I just had one of our followers reach out to me and talk to me about helping me with the cable arm as well. So that's, it would be cool to do for sure.
Awesome.
Yep. Aspirations are there.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to get my... Jesus. Yeah, I'd love to be able to get a full 3D body scan so that I could then build 3D armor pieces, like an arm, right?
Oh, that'd be cool.
That fits exact, or whatever the case is, right? If anybody in the chat knows where you can get a full 3D body scan, I'd be very interested in that. I've got a software that lets me 3D scan my head, but that's as far as I got.
I'm sure you'll get some offers for some full body scans, all right?
Well, okay, get your money out of the gutter there. Yeah, dirty.
The end result needs to be an STL file.
Yeah, the end result needs to be a 3D file.
You can do that with your phone.
Yeah, so I just noticed my niece is online here. She says you can do that with your phone. I mean, you can.
And then Mel saying the same thing, probably what you already have. Mel saying there's a free one for head.
It's not great. There's one that's made specifically to scan your head. That works really well. But all the other 3D scanners, they don't work the best. I found they're very temperamental. I'd love to have a proper 3D scan. I know a lot of people make them out of the Xbox Kinect cameras. And because they're USBs, they plug them into their computers, and then they can download the drivers and use the dual camera system as a proper 3D scanning tool.
I
but
think
yeah.
that'd be cool.
There's also a better paid version. Hang on. Let me go back here. There's a lot of people talking about this in the... There are... there are free head scan... Sorry. There are free ones for head scans. Yes, that's not what I was saying. I've used that one. I'm pretty sure those phone apps... There are phone apps for that. There's also better paid versions. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff available. Again, I don't know what is available and what you can do, and et cetera, et cetera. So hey, if you guys have any tips to throw my way, send me a private message. I'll be interested in hearing about that, because like I said, I would really love to get a proper scan done, so that then if I want to 3D model something, I can just 3D model it right off of my actual body, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how much more geeky and techy you want to go than that, but yeah. Again, Jeff, keep your mind out of the gutter there. I know I could see you typing away. I already know what you're thinking when you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am Jeff enjoying those buttered nuts. There's no nuts. Well, I mean, it's peanut butter. There's like no. Victoria's here. Everybody hide.
The dark side joined. Hello, Victoria.
Yeah.
Hello.
Everybody hide.
So I'm curious to hear what people in the chat here have done in their own cosplays as far as technology or maybe things they want to do. I know, again, I've been talking way more about this than I should, considering we've got zero progress done. But one of the big projects that me and Rob here want to do is Transformers. I feel like having proper LEDs and maybe even screens and, again, an Arduino board so we can animate flashing lights and
all kinds of speakers are going to be needed for that one. But
yeah, I mean, that's all stuff I want to be able to do. Well,
I want this guy to do something more simple for a second. And I saw somebody doing this at Comic-Con. I don't know this person. A lot of people here probably do. I'll bring it up in a second. But on the YouTube, you can see behind me a purge mask. You can't really see it on the Instagram, but this is another purge mask. I made 3 of them 6 or 7 years ago. This is EL wire. I'm sure a lot of people know what EL wire is. Do you know what this is, Jeff?
I do.
So back when I made these, I had to buy them off Amazon, and they're like $20 or whatever. But I was just in the dollar store the other day, and I saw these at the dollar store for like $3.
They do. They have them at the dollar store now.
I saw
they have EL wire at the dollar store now.
They have EL wire at the dollar store.
Shit.
At the dollar store near me, anyway, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And this person darkly designed. I don't know her, but probably a lot of you do.
Debbie. She's been on the podcast.
Yeah, so I've never met Debbie, but I saw pictures of what one of the costumes she did, and she did something from Avatar. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I don't know all the characters, so if I say something wrong,
yeah, the lightning. She did
please
the lightning
don't
in EL
crucify
wire.
me. She did that blue EL wire on her arms, and that I thought, I don't know if she's out there. That was awesome. I thought that was a super great way to elevate a cosplay to the next level, and all it took was like EL wire that you can get at the dollar store, and I think she did a fantastic job.
So glad you said that, because I was looking into adding some into Widow for the bites.
Yeah,
because they light up in the movie or whatever, and I saw EL wire, but I hadn't worked with it before, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to take a chance or if should I stick with LEDs, but then LEDs are going to be like, they're not going to look right. I think the EL wire would look a lot better, and now that you're showing me that makes more sense. And now if I can get it cheap,
and it has the battery pack, like, you know, it's already comes with a battery pack, and it's a simple button, and you just got to route the wires to your costume, and you're good to go.
Yeah, perfect.
So I'm a big fan of EL wire, and I thought she did a fantastic job on her costume to elevate it up. Super low tech and easy just to bring up a level.
Perfect.
I'll say this. I have taken apart a lot of dollar store toys, light things for cosplay. So I went to the dollar store. They had these little lantern style flashlights, and it had a lot of LEDs in that flashlight. And at that point, Anthony, Mr. Cosplay Alliance, wanted me to make him a green lantern. Well, actually, he wanted me to make his son a green lantern battery, like an actual lantern. And I wanted it to actually light up. So I went to the dollar store, picked up this cheap flashlight thing that I completely took apart and used in the suit. So dollar store is fantastic for the type of stuff. Actually, Victoria's saying this right here. They have everything at the dollar store. I saw vacuum sealed corn on the cob in Dollarama. Yeah.
Hey, you don't have that in my Dollaramas, I can tell you that right now.
But the Dollarama is great for that type of stuff. I mean, you know,
I mean, if you want to put EL wire, that's good. Yeah.
Sure.
Any kind of little lights, fairy lights. They have a lot of battery powered lights, which is amazing, and a lot of solar stuff too. And I know, depending on what you're doing, solar might not be the best solution for you, but
no, that's fair.
Yeah, I think EL wire would look great on your Black Widow.
That's I think I'll give it a shot for sure. Yeah.
Something I want to talk about that I see Loki Quinn brought up here in the comments that I want to try and I haven't done yet. She says, I found this cosplayer who had a smoke machine for her hands with green LEDs for Loki, and I want to do it so bad. Me too. We were talking about doing Ring Wraiths from Lord of the Rings, and I would love to be able to have some sort of smoke machine create an aura of smoke around that as well.
That's
so dope. I'm trying to think of if you can use like vaporizer, the same kind of vape technology, because I'm not sure how they're going to react if you bust out a smoke machine, right?
I know.
You
know what I mean?
You wouldn't be able to use that at con.
But a vaporizer might be able to get away with that.
I mean, even if it's for a shoot, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you're doing a shoot off site, then the smoke machine would be ideal for sure.
Yeah, I bet it looked badass. I want to try
for sure it would.
Chibi Barra here is saying LEDs in Widowmaker wig, little LED lights and Mercy wings. Never got the acrylic in there to light up. Battery packs are hard to get. I've started actually using very simple USB little chargers that you can get almost everywhere now. They typically put out 5 volts, which is usually enough for most lighting systems. I feel like that's a good solution for a lot of stuff. Probably not for everything, but
a system of vape pens.
Yeah, Corey.
No,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but then the whole place smells like grape watermelon or whatever bullshit flavor that they come in. So that's not going to be. They're going to know. Yeah.
Let's see here. Megan is saying one thing I loved in an old Widow suit I made was I ran late light up wires. I guess they're EL wires along the suit seams to create her Age of Ultron suit.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know how on your Widow suit, how you've got the red stripes? Imagine if those red stripes actually lit up.
Yeah,
That's
that's not a terrible idea. I'm definitely going to look into some EL wire.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, for sure.
crazy. Doug here, Art of the Con is saying I'm doing Space Kook. I'm not gonna lie, Doug. When you mentioned that, and I looked it up, and then I realized what it was, I kind of want to do a Space Kook as well. So I'm not saying I want to steal your idea here, but that's a really, really good one. But we should try to do like a some sort of a meetup of Scooby Doo villains. That would be, I think, genius. A bunch of different Scooby Doo villains. Nobody would know who they are but us, but it'd still be good. So he's saying I'm doing
of doors to run back and forth through.
That'd be hilarious, actually. Doug is saying here I'm doing Space Kook, and I'm planning on, and I'm assuming what he's saying here is an Arduino board and fan lights and sounds.
Tana says, Corey, I tried to sneak it in for sure. Yeah, Tana, we know how you would sneak it in, and this is a PG-13 show. So moving on. Mel said the issue is runtime and brightness on my strip LEDs. There was a bunch. I did find some, but it got sidetracked. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm worried about too. Is how bright I can get them, and then how long that's going to last for. But that EL wire that you showed, Rob, on your purge mask, it's pretty bright. Like you're in a fully lit room, and that's not terrible.
I mean, this one's actually kind of weak. To be honest with you, I haven't changed the battery since the last time I used them, which I put them out at Halloween now. But
that's not terrible.
The green one I have going is pretty good. And you know what? Yeah. They're just double A's, right? So if you can get to them easy, you just swap them out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, definitely gonna be looking at. I don't know what. I don't think we've got them here at the dollar store in London, but I could definitely pick them up on Amazon pretty cheap. So
yeah, you should.
And you can cut them to length, right? And then like reseal them or something. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
You can reseal them. You can reattach them.
No, when you cut, I shouldn't say reseal, but when you cut it, you then seal the end, right? And that's how.
Yeah, you can cut it and then put it. I haven't cut mine, but I'm under the impression, you can cut them and put a little dab of hot glue or something.
Whatever it is,
cutting it's not gonna to break it.
Right. Yeah. No, that's cool. I shall investigate.
Victoria's saying that cosplayer smells like mango pineapple. I'm assuming that's a reference.
All the vape stuff.
The vape stuff.
Oh, yes. Mr. Doug here out of the con is also saying my dark side helmet has a USB battery on the helmet. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Those USB battery packs are fantastic for that stuff.
Yep. Someone needs to make a how-to video with those wires. Yeah, Rob.
Okay, here's the how-to. You just buy it as is. And I just used a nail. Yeah, basically, I just used a nail for this. I put holes through it and sewed it through.
Yeah,
like I was sewing something.
Yeah,
they're pretty,
and they came out really well.
How to morons? You just buy it.
You just buy it.
Put batteries in it, and then it works. Are you happy now?
But you laugh. But EL wire is literally that simple.
No, I know. I just love Rob's people skills. They're awesome. It's good. Yeah.
Sorry, I hope that didn't come off offensive.
No, it's brilliant. It was brilliant. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, oh, it'd be good for like the Geeks and Co YouTube channel. You guys can start doing like little tutorials. You can talk about everything that you've talked about here. I think that would be really cool for you guys to make little videos. And Rob's like, no, fuck that. We're not doing that. Here, morons. This is what you do. Just usually buy it.
When I talk about tech, people like eyes glaze over and they're like, I don't care.
You're making it sound more complicated. Yeah. Well, apparently not. You just buy it. Stupids. Just buy it.
His words, not mine.
It's funny you say that because we are going to do more build videos. I don't know if we're going to get into full tutorials, but more build videos showing off techniques and et cetera, but full tutorials, they take a lot of time, a long time to film and edit, and
I got a question that we haven't really talked about, but maybe you can tell us more, JS. The LED lights, like the helmets, so in your Red Hood, your eyes, and you see it a lot in Iron Man. How do you do those?
I'll show you.
That I haven't done, but
the suspense is killing me.
So again, it's very simple. You buy it, stupid. So If you go
All you builders
on,
make it seem like you're like sitting there like working at
You're giving-
NASA
You're
designing this
giving away
shit.
all
You're
our
just like, just
secrets.
buy it,
No.
dum dum.
Buy it.
so if you go to I don't know if they have them on AliExpress, but you go to eBay. There's a bunch of places that sell them, and you look for Batman LED eyes, and it's these little panels. I don't know if you can see them well. They're these little panels that again are attached to a battery pack. They come already attached with the battery pack. I'll show them here on YouTube. And then when you flick the switch, they light up.
Nice.
And they already come all etched. They're laser etched so that when the light hits them, it looks like they light up.
Okay, so
Uh,
does that impede your vision with the lights on at all?
very much so. You can't
I was
see
about to say,
shit when you.
Because with the lights
are on.
off, it doesn't look too bad. But as soon as you turn those lights on, I couldn't see through them anymore. I'm like, how in the hell are you
No.
using those? Okay.
So when I'm on the con floor and I light them up, I can't see anything anymore.
Okay.
That's
That
why
makes
you're constantly seeing me turning them on and off, because when they're on, you can't see.
Can't see.
If you're outside, it's another thing. If you're outside, you can still see, but if you're outside, you can barely tell they're lit up.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But once they light up, yeah, you really can't see much in them at all. But they work great. Like they're flat, and because they're poly, I forget the name of the material, but you can heat it up and then shape it.
Right.
So that's how I got it to fit the shape of my mask, right? Because it's rounded. I don't know if you could tell,
Right.
but you can see the panels are rounded.
Right.
I could show here as
So
well.
you just kind of heat it with a heat gun and shape it the way you need it to be.
Yeah, you heat it with a heat gun and you shape it to whatever shape you want it to be, and it doesn't damage them at all, right?
And then just what, like super glue? You just super glued it to.
Super glue them right into place.
Nice.
For the longest time, I just had them taped into place.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
You know,
I imagine they would
Okay.
give you a wicked migraine, probably, but sacrifices need to be made for greatness sometimes, right?
well, that's the
Cosplay
thing,
life,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Cosplay life.
I mean, if you don't want your Iron Man to light up, that's cool, but that's what I was gonna say. Doesn't it hurt your head really fast? No, not really. Again, like I was saying earlier, you can't really run them constantly because you can't see, right? So you're only turning them on when you're taking pictures and you take a couple shots and you turn them off again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Chibi was saying, I want to make my Monster Hunter cape light up. Need something super small and bright enough to be seen. I find EL wire a bit too dim for my props.
I get that. It can be a bit
Yeah.
dim. You're probably better off with the LEDs, the little LEDs at that point.
Corey's saying the moral of this episode: buy it, stupid. You're not wrong.
Buy it, stupid. Yeah, exactly.
Buy it,
Yeah,
stupid.
if you can buy it, that's one of the things I've learned, especially from Jeff. Like, if you can buy it, buy it.
Well,
But
especially
you know
when
what?
it comes
I
to
like
electronics,
building stuff.
right? Like,
Yeah, so most electronics. If you can buy like EL wire, why not buy that?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
when
no,
it came to
100%.
like the custom Predator computer we were building ourselves, kind of
Yeah.
had to build that one.
Yeah, for sure. No, indeed. Yeah, it'll be the same thing with the cable arm. I can't just. Actually, I think I was talking to Mel. I was talking to somebody that I was talking about doing a custom cable arm for me, but I think the 3D printed one's going to work out better. So, yeah. 'Cause these are the voyages.
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir. I want to hear more from people. There's a lot of people in the chat. Not a lot of people telling us what kind of tech they've ever included in their cosplays.
Well, I'm fine. I think I think this is a pretty good lesson here for us, and not a lesson, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't think tech is, like Rob was saying, it's another level, right? I think for most average cosplayers, they don't incorporate tech into their cosplays because it's another thing to do and master. And look at the first, as we start talking about the simplest tech you can possibly get, and people were like, show us how to use that. So I feel like we're maybe on the cusp of more tech being added as more people get into more and more builds and 3D prints and everything else. But I don't feel like the tech game is really it's a niche right now more so than a mainstream thing, right?
For sure. And more to that point,
So,
there's only so many cosplays that you could fit tech into, right? So I mean, you might do a certain cosplay and you're like, there is no opportunity to include tech in it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So that also kind of narrows the scope of which projects you're going to put tech into.
I feel that's the big key, right? I mean, again, it really depends on the type of costume you're doing. Like if you're doing a Negan, or a zombie Negan for that matter. What are you going to do for tech, right?
No,
You're not
yeah,
going to
you're
be
really-
adding lights and sounds and
Oh, I mean, I guess it's
computers
zombie,
and
you know, I can have some zombie groaning or whatever in the background, but what the hell, I could just do that myself. So
well, there you
Really
go, right?
very much
And now
point,
the
but
chat just exploded here.
I was
Yeah,
just going to
most
get
of my
through some
costumes
it,
are
so-
medieval. Can't add tech to a Viking outfit.
No, exactly. And you into the corgi saying I have never used tech. I feel too intimidated. Believe it or not, I've been in this game for 6 or 7 years. So do I. I mean, it's pretty easy to get in deep and then it not go right, or you be disappointed with the results. But I mean, that's pretty much everything that you're going to try in cosplay. So it's going to be like anything else. It's going to be a trial and error thing. You're going to find some shit that works great. And you're going to find some shit that does not work at all. And you're going to spend some money and spend some time, but you're going to learn from that. And it's going to get better as you go. So
yeah.
sometimes you got to jump into the deep end. Robbie saying, I always wanted to make my Shazam lightning bolt light up, but I didn't know how. Well,
EL panel.
Buy it, stupid.
EL panel?
Yeah, so it's just like an EL wire, but it's like a sheet of paper. It's almost like a sheet of plastic, actually. Remember those transparency sheets that you would use for overhead projectors? It looks a lot like that, but when you put current through it, it lights up in whatever color you bought. So look into that, Robbie. EL panels, and the EL panel you can cut to shape as long as
like
where
a
the
lightning bolt?
like a lightning bolt, right? You can cut it to shape of the lightning bolt and literally just stick it right into the suit, right? That should work pretty easy.
I would think. Chibi saying pretty much just use LEDs. I use a 3D printer, but I'm shit at modeling. Hi.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
The closest I've got to tech in my cosplay was sticking a bike light in a bootleg Tesseract. Hey, man. That's still what we're talking about.
But that's exactly what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is using whatever you have at your disposal. You don't have to be an engineer. Sorry, Doug, not dissing you or anything, but you don't have to be an engineer to add tech to your costume, right? You use what you have.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't have a 3D printer like JS does. So when I actually did this this piece in the Predator biomass, like, that would be a great thing to 3D print if you had a 3D printer. But I scoured my house for hours looking for something I could use for that, and then pulling out my drill and putting holes in it.
Yeah.
And then just wiring up a battery pack and an LED to it, right?
Yeah, perfect.
I live off the land.
Use every part of the animal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dorkside, I've never even thought about using it myself, but now I want to. Yeah, that's what cosplay is too. It gets a little bit infectious.
Mm-hmm.
Doug's talking about punished prompts, and Odin Makes on YouTube shows a lot of the tech stuff.
Yeah, and Bill Duran, if you're watching this, we want you on the show, bud. I've been trying to reach out to you on Instagram, on YouTube for months. I've even gone to the point of asking Evil Ted himself, Ted Smith, to talk to you, to come on the show. Punished Props, Bill Duran, and Bill and Britt Duran. There are a couple of prop makers, and I've learned 99% of what I know from those guys and from their videos. They are amazing prop makers and foam smithers. Odin Makes is great as well. He also has a YouTube channel. Odin started on... There was remember, Rob, that first video we saw the guy making the cardboard Predator?
Vaguely.
Anyway, that show, whatever that show was called, DIY props or DIY costumes or whatever the heck that show was called, Odin started on that show and then moved on to his own YouTube channel. He does some really cool stuff that has some tech in it as well. Victoria says, I love Odin Makes. Yeah, Odin's amazing. Megan little lights are such... Okay, I'm going to try to translate what Megan's trying to say here. But yeah, little lights are such a great... I don't know what you're trying to say, Megan. I'm sorry. With magical users... Okay, you know what? I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say there. Sorry.
I think
maybe
she's saying, little lights are such a great addition with magical users.
Addition. Yes.
Little glowing.
That would make sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
God damn it! Well, now I want peanut butter M&Ms. Chibi, not peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms are for peasants and plebs. Peanut butter M&Ms. That's where we live.
I think that's the big takeaway after the end of this. I'm going to be going searching for.
Walmart carries a 1 kilogram bag.
Holy cow!
And that's what Jeff bought, and it's not going to take Jeff very long to go through it because I have a problem. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. There's a resealable thing on it, and I'm like, that's adorable. Almond
What's that
M&Ms
for?
are
I'm
the
not
best.
going to need that.
You could Loki. You could quit. You are entitled to your opinion. You're allowed to be wrong. You're totally fine. My keyboard.
the
is dying.
almond
I
M&Ms
actually
are the
want
best.
mini eggs. Yeah, but mini eggs are like a whole other level too. I love those mini eggs. Oh my goodness. And
Chibi Barra Cosplay here says I put push lights in my Rocket Raccoon backpack. That was probably the first time I lit up a cosplay I had. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Robbie says, thank JS, no problem, bud. Doug said something about the EL panels, but it disappeared. Yes, EL panel works well. DIY prop shop. That's what it was, where Odin started. The DIY prop shop. And I think you've read the rest. My keyboard is lagging. LOL. I actually want mini eggs. Yeah, okay, you said that already.
Mini eggs.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep up with the chit chats and the chit chat channel there. The chit chat.
Yes.
Say that 10 times real fast, kids.
The chit chat channel. Hey, listen, you went to see Batman for a second time. You were saying earlier with your youngest.
I did. Yeah, she was having. She was on the struggle bus a little bit. So I said, you know what, we're gonna go out and we're gonna get some ice cream and we're gonna get some food and we're gonna see whatever movie you want to see. And she said, I want to see the Batman. And I was like, that's a really good choice, daughter mine. I clearly have raised you well and got some of that early indoctrination in there for all the geek stuff. So yeah, so we went and saw it a second time. Well, her first time and my second time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what your impression is now seeing it twice versus when you came out of there for the first time, right? Because now you already knew where the story was going.
Right.
You were paying probably more attention to the little details, trying to solve the mystery before Batman is.
Right.
Or before Batman does, I should say. So I want to hear a little bit about your experience seeing it a second time now, because I know you really, really loved it the first time.
I did, yeah, and I still do. There were certain things the second time around that I don't want to say annoyed me more the second time than the first time around, but I did find a little bit, because Paul Dano did such a great job as the Riddler. I did find that there was a little bit of Bane going on from Dark Knight Rises, where there were a few times where you physically couldn't tell what he was saying if he got too amped up or he was yelling, because the mask was distorting the words he was saying so much. I mean, you got the gist, obviously, but there was a few times where I'm like, I have no idea what that dude just said. Like, they really, I appreciate how much he was putting into the performance, but there were times where I really wanted to know what the hell he was saying and I couldn't tell. The first time through I didn't care because I was just so enchanted with everything that was going on, but this time I'm like, no man, what's this dude saying? And then maybe it was the second theater. The first theater I went to, I did not have a problem with the lighting. I saw everything just fine, but this time I was at the same theater, but I think I was in a different room,
yeah.
And it clearly was, I was like, oh, this is what everybody was talking about. It was
and you know what, when we had that discussion about how dark it was and blah blah blah, we never even stopped to think about the fact that from one room, from one projector to the next, from
100%.
one screen to the next,
yes,
it could change a lot.
The theater that I normally go to, so JS and I went to the same theater for this one. The theater we normally go to, I find they have very dim bulbs. But when we went to the other one where we saw Batman, it was night and day, the difference between that theater and the other theater. Like, everybody was complaining about how dark it was, and I was like, this was great this time.
Yeah.
Normally I'm complaining about it, but
yeah. And I know the bulbs are expensive, and I know they do last longer when they dim them down, and that's how some theaters try to save money by not having them as bright as they could be. But clearly, the first theater that I went into to see, they had the brightness cranked up because I didn't have any problems. And this time, I was like, what's going on?
Well, so let me ask you this: do you think it's possible? And this is something that maybe somebody that's ever worked in a theater, if there's anybody that knows anything about theaters themselves, can tell me. As when a movie like the Batman comes out, right, you're gonna play in your biggest, most up to date, greatest theater with the newest projector and the newest sound equipment. That's where you're putting the Batman for the first few weeks, right? Because
100%,
you want people to be in there. But now, as it's now a couple weeks old, and you got new movies that are coming, and then you're putting in your big bad theater. And you're moving Batman now to your maybe smaller, older theaters. Is a potential that now we're ending up with older projectors, older bulbs, older screens, and the experience is just no longer the same.
For sure.
Probably.
For sure. Yeah. Yep. I mean, like I said, they're trying to save as much. Those bulbs are like from what I understand, like in the hundreds or thousands of dollars per bulb. So,
Oh wow.
yeah. So they have to, use them judiciously, and the higher the brightness is cranked, the less life hours they get out of it. So, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I don't know, but other than those very two small complaints, brilliant, just as brilliant the second time around, and getting to experience it with someone that I know what's coming and she doesn't. And then having her, like, the exclamations that she was making at certain points of the movie was just like, yes, like she's there, she's getting it, she's experiencing it. So if you do get a chance to go see it again, try to go see it with somebody that hasn't seen it, and then you get to vicariously relive it for the first time through them, and it's pretty damn great. So yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, I heard it's actually coming out on digital soon already.
I think so.
It's coming out next month, I think, on digital already, which blows my mind. But
I think Warner's is looking at a 45-day window from initial theater release to bring it out on streaming. So that's about half.
As a consumer, I want the movies to come out on digital sooner so that I can rewatch them again and not have to pay again to go back to theaters.
Yeah.
If I'm a filmmaker and I want this movie to make as much money as possible, especially a big tentpole movie like The Batman, is 45 days cutting into that bottom line, right? You're cutting into that box office that justifies whether you're going to get a second movie or not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing about once it goes digital,
it's out, right? It's pirated. Right? Like, it's pirated and it's everywhere. Pirated.
Pirated. It's good old pirated.
It's pirated.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Mel. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in.
Thanks.
Mel's going, and Hypergate Cosplay is now with us. Marianne's joined us. How are you, Marianne?
To what you're saying, JS, though, I think part and parcel of that is its box office is no longer just king, and it's not even just to figure out if there's going to be a sequel. Because if putting the Batman on HBO Max drives HBO Max subscriptions, and they can directly attribute that to the Batman, like they did with Zack Snyder's Justice League or anything else that was coming out on streaming service, then that becomes part of the argument for whether or not we're going to do more or whatever. That still ends up being the movie generating revenue for the studio, for the company in this case, which is Warner and Warner Discovery, whatever. So I think overall, if it was a 45-day deal and then they just shotgunned it to any streaming service that wanted to license it, I agree with you. That's a problem. But if they're keeping it exclusive to HBO Max after the 45 days, if you hadn't had a chance to see it in theaters, but you wanted to see it soon, your only option would be to pay for an HBO Max subscription to be able to watch it, right?
Well, I know, and I completely agree with that, and I agree that HBO is still making money, and it's a way to get more subscribers to come over to HBO Max. But how do you then quantify that versus the success of your movie, right? How do you quantify? Well, we've got all of these new users specifically for that movie, and then when I decide that I'm going to make a second or sequel to the Batman because it made X amount of dollars. Well, do we even know how much money it made once
it's a new metric, I think, right? It made X amount in the 45 days it was in the theater, and now with this new business model, a new revenue stream, it's going to make X amount when we push it there. So it might not be a perfect science yet, but they're figuring it out. If we run it for this long here, we're going to make this much, and this long here, we're going to make that much. And yes, people might pirate it, but only a small amount of people still do that type of thing.
And I think the studios that are running both a movie studio and a streaming service are still trying to, because you'll notice that a lot of them have different windows because they're all trying to figure out where the sweet spot is for how long to keep in the theater and then when to bring it out to drive subscriptions. Because tomorrow, if theaters ended tomorrow, if they could have everything driving subscriptions, that's exactly what, because it's just revenue. Like it's just recurring revenue for them.
Yeah,
right?
it's predictable.
It is.
It's the same reason why you
for sure
you can buy a subscription.
Higher model, right? Like Netflix puts out major blockbuster movies every year now. They don't put them in theaters because they don't have to, right? Because their films are driving subscriptions. Their original television shows are driving. You want to watch Ozark? You have to have Netflix. There's nowhere else for you to go to watch that show. So that's going to drive subscriptions. So I think you're going to find that window might even start narrowing further because they want to get it over onto the subscription service as fast as possible.
Yeah. You can even get subscription. I don't know if they call it a subscription, but like Cineplex has like the club now where you can join and pay X amount a month and you can go and see so many movies.
Right. Yeah. I think Landmark's got the same thing now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they also have this ticket, this digital ticket, right? That when you buy your ticket, you're also buying a digital copy. Or you're buying the rights to be able to re-watch it digitally once it comes out digitally.
Yep.
So they're charging you a little bit more, but then you can re-watch it at home after the fact, right?
Yeah, to an extent. I don't like the digital licenses, though. I'm not going to lie, because they can be revoked at any time, and that has happened. You buy a physical copy of the media, that's yours for the life of that physical, as long as that thing doesn't break or get scratched or whatever. You own that. That is yours. You don't own a digital license to a movie.
You don't.
Game or anything.
No. And you can't transfer it, resell it, trade it in.
No.
Nope.
No.
At any point, they can decide to yank it for any reason. And it's just, I own some digital stuff. I'm not one of those. I'm not some Luddite with, 8,000 Blu-rays and DVDs in my basement. I'm not that guy. But just be careful when you're talking about getting digital stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, you don't own it for sure. Not like you own a DVD, right?
The license. You just purchase.
You're purchasing a license. Exactly. Exactly.
But if you're paying the same thing for the license, then you would have paid for a physical media. Sure, it's taking up less room, but at least you have the physical media to have whenever you want.
You do, exactly. And if you do want to rewatch it, even after Disney Plus has decided to take it down for some weird reason,
right?
You still have that DVD, right? But if you're counting on the fact that, I'm not going to buy the Star Wars movies on DVD because they're already on Disney Plus, well,
Doug bringing the old man vibes, talking about some VHS goodness up in here. That's where we're there, boy. That's where we're talking.
Yeah, I still have a couple VHS tapes actually.
Betamax for life, buddy. Come on now.
Now they get displayed as part of my swag and stuff.
Right? now they're nerdy classics.
Now they're nerdy.
Yeah, classics right next to my cassettes for my music collection. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Ashley here is saying, the sweet spot is to buy the movie online to watch it on the platform. Only thing is, it shouldn't be $30 a movie. And I know what she's referring to. She's referring to how Disney are telling you can go see it in theaters or you can buy it on Disney Plus and watch it on Disney Plus. But yeah, they're selling it like $30 a movie. Like, who the fuck is paying $30 to buy? I get that if you're going a whole family at the theater, you're gonna pay a lot more than $30. But when you're paying for a whole family to go to the theater, you're it's the experience of going to the theater and the big screen and the sound and the popcorn and the people and the $30 at home. I feel like it is expensive.
Yeah, to buy a license that you don't have a thing, you can't then.
Yeah, that you don't own, right?
You don't own it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Nope, you're absolutely right. Exclusively. Rob alluded to it earlier, but I just, as soon as it's available online, just
Yeah.
I'm frugal, man. I've been doing that since there's been internet. So, what are you gonna do? Now, sometimes I do it because it literally we can't get it up here because it'll be something exclusive to a streaming service that it's not available in Canada. So sometimes I don't have a choice. But
it's funny. Victoria just said exactly that. Exclusivity equals money, money, money.
Yeah.
Robbie says, I buy whatever I love. So if it disappeared from streaming, I'll still have it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more advantageous to rent with friends now, so you split the costs. Corey J. Carter. Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't know that I want to be sitting with a bunch of guys in my living room watching a movie. If we're going to go and see a movie, we're going to go and see a movie, right? So I don't know. I get it, and I get why the streaming services do it, and it's predictable revenue, and it's renewable revenue, and so on and so forth. But something about the theater experience that you don't get when you're sitting at home in your living room.
Oh, for sure.
I paid to watch certain movies, by the way, on Disney. You can continue watching it. It's on a one-off. At least it was with Black Widow. I know some of them were like that, but some of them, if you paid the premium price, you get the movie for like a 24 or 48-hour window where you can watch as many times as you want within that window. But that's it. Like, you don't get to watch it in perpetuity for that $20 or $30 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like we alluded to earlier, this is all new ground, right? So they're all kind of trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. And obviously the pandemic didn't help either. We had 2 years where people couldn't go to the movies, but you had all these movies that were made, some in post-production, some that were just ready to be released and couldn't be. So they tried a bunch of different models, and some they tried to integrate into both and whatever. Now that the pandemic is supposedly over, now we're going back to the movie theater again. Now you're going to see certain studios like Sony, for example, never balked. They never put anything out on streaming early. They don't have their own streaming service. They put movies in theaters. And then you get like No Way Home making over $1 billion, $1.6 billion, $1.7 billion, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So
that was perfectly timed for that.
Very much so. Yeah.
I do feel also that people are much more selective of what they go see in theaters now than before. Before it was like, oh, let's go out. Oh, what do you want to do? Well, let's go see a movie. They didn't even care what was playing. They were just going to go see a movie. A lot of people were like that before. Now, people only really go to theaters to see that movie that they want to see. And that's why you're seeing movies that are making almost no money these days and other movies that are making $1 billion freaking dollars, right? Again, with the pandemic, I feel people are very, very selective.
Well, and I think part of the problem with that, I think Marvel's really driven that home, unfortunately, is they've made their movies such a spectacle, such an amusement park ride, that's what you want to pay your hard-earned for now. If you're going to pay $20 a ticket, you want to go on an adventure. You don't want to see some, 98-minute taut political drama, right? You want to go on a roller coaster for your $20. So, and that's what Marvel has given you since 2010 or whatever, or 2008, whenever the first Iron Man came out. So now what do you do? How do you market a movie that's not that and get people to shell out the same money that they would pay for that?
Good point.
Right?
No, for sure.
Yeah. So that's where streaming comes in now. So instead of these guys trying to put these mid-range or low-level movies out in movie theaters and do nothing, they just right over to streaming. Look at Ryan Reynolds. How many projects in a row has he put? The Atom Project, Red Notice, Six Underground. They're all on Netflix. He went straight to streaming with all of those. He's got a production deal with them, and he's going to keep cranking them out.
Well, that's the thing. It's because he has a production deal with them. The same thing. Adam Sandler had a production deal with them.
Yep.
I mean, there's a bunch of people that have had
Zack Snyder
deals with Zack Snyder has a production deal with them.
Yeah, and now Robert Downey Jr.'s got one with HBO Max of all people. He's working on 2 different Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, really?
TV series to come out on HBO Max, and then
that are within the world of his Sherlock Holmes movies.
That's right, within that universe.
Really, with Jude Law,
He hasn't confirmed that he or Jude Law are going to be in, but he's executive producing and he's spearheading them and everything else. So yeah, so people are getting deals on streaming services they don't have to take the chance of it going to the movie theater and bombing. They just put it on the streaming.
It's a more predictable, stable income. They know what they're in for.
Yeah.
So, looks like a lot of people have actually got those theater club memberships.
Yeah, I mean, Tanit said she got the membership.
Yep.
Corey J. Carter says as well, membership as well.
Yeah,
Marianne is saying definitely more conscious of the time I spend at the theater for sure.
You want to make it worth it.
Oh, I think we lost JS. Oh, there he is. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
froze up for a second there. But yeah, I mean, that's the Batman was the first movie I've gone to see twice in the movie theater in like a long time. I don't remember the last time I went and saw a film twice.
I'm just realizing now I'm not. I seem to be fun on the Instagram.
No, you're not.
Or I'm not fun on the Instagram. No.
No, you're lagging. The sound is fine. Your sound is coming through fine, but you're definitely.
I don't know what's going. I'm just realizing now I'm not actually hardwired into my computer, which I usually am. So that's what's going on. I'm overloading my Wi-Fi right now. I'm pretty sure.
You look like
microwaving something.
You look like a kung fu Chinese movie from like the 80s or 70s or whatever, where they're doing the bad overdub.
You're
not in sync, so your lips are moving to something else entirely that you're saying, but different words are coming out of your mouth. It's great.
Let's see if I plug in, if I get cut off, or if I get a better signal here.
Okay, well now you're actually in sync. So
I'm in sync. Well, that's at least
not the boy band. You're not Justin Timberlake, but I mean you look a lot like Justin Timberlake, but you're not him.
Well, I don't know about that.
You're more of a Joey.
I'm not sure if I should take that as an insult or a compliment there.
I'll let you decide.
Yeah.
I went with Justin Timberlake. I would like to point out, by the way, he messaged Joey for the show, and I want to. That's your bro down there. Like, don't even
have a little bit more liberty.
Yeah, that's true. But you're within striking distance. I can say whatever I want. I'm hours away.
Hey, listen, talking about hours, we've actually been on for an hour. This went by way faster than I thought it was going to go by. I wasn't sure how much tech talk we'd be able to get in here, but before we go, there's two people. First of all, Daniel Gombos, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Daniel actually followed all the instructions, actually subscribed to the channel, commented, liked the video. Daniel did it all. Daniel, I already reached out to you right here on YouTube. Make sure you reach out to me. We're going to get you a custom hoodie. Custom Geeks & Co. Batman or Riddler hoodie to commemorate the Batman. This is not the one you're going to be getting, but, we'll make it custom for you. So reach out to me so I can figure sizing and colors and actual design that you want. We'll make all that custom for you. There's also somebody that, although didn't actually take the time to subscribe, watched a bunch of videos and commented on a bunch of videos. So again, I just have the username, which is Haley. Haley, if you're watching, also, I reached out to you right here on YouTube. Make sure you reach out to me through private message, and we'll get you hooked up with the t-shirt as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
We're not giving away a mask, unfortunately. We had a goal of new subscribers we wanted to reach, which we didn't. So, sorry, folks, we're not giving away a Riddler mask. Maybe next time.
That's right. I had it ready to go here, too.
I know. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Yeah. Rob actually went and bought 2 masks. So we were going to give one away. Yeah, not the one he was wearing, because that one's probably all sweaty and stinky.
Yeah, this one hasn't been worn. Yeah,
that's the one I want.
Y'all look like a boy band with your matching hats and glasses. Well, I'm not wearing glasses, so
I'm wearing a hat because we got some pretty gnarly hair going on today. I didn't do anything with it, so I threw a hat on.
Gnarly, but
Rob, I meant to ask you while I have you. Do you guys know what your Fan Expo plans are yet? Like, as far as how long, like what days you're going, like, do you know anything about your Fan Expo plans as of yet?
I don't think so.
No.
So I actually need to send out some emails. I got some contacts from somebody actually on one of your posts.
Yep.
Again, I've just been in the middle of, I've got family over, I'm painting the house, so I haven't had a chance to reach out, but I still want to try to get us a booth, which means if we do get a booth, we'd be there all 4 days.
Okay. Keep me posted.
If we don't get a booth, I'd like to be there at least 2 days. So at least
Saturday, Sunday,
Friday and Saturday would be nice.
I want to get the full experience. I haven't done the 2-3 day thing like everybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd love to get us a booth and have a bunch of fun there with everybody.
Yeah, and we did talk perhaps bringing the Predators back.
Well, that's what I was going to kind of try to talk to Rob about real quick. Just we can, we can do this off stream. I don't have to.
No. Go ahead.
Well, so you guys know I ordered my Pattinson Batman, and then Victoria is Catwoman. So we haven't figured out quite a day yet. I'm thinking probably Sunday we're going to do that. So if I'm Patman and she's Catwoman, I mean, I know this guy that does this really good Riddler.
Well, there you go.
Is that you're getting at? I thought
there you go.
No. Like, if you guys could do Predators, no, it doesn't. I just figured if the 3 of us are there in, essentially, movie level costumes, because you are easily the best Riddler that I've seen.
Again this year? Is it?
It's in August 25th through 28th.
Last weekend of August.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a little bit of how to deal with the heat aspect, because
you do get pretty hot.
Oh, it was crazy. Even in March, it was ridiculous.
It was pretty bad. Yeah,
I can figure it out, but
even if we could steal you for like a shoot or something like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I think
yeah, perfect.
I'm interested for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, we can talk more as we get it. I know it's April and that's in August, so there's lots of time. Anyways,
Michael is already on beers. Michael's like, beers. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be beers at Fan Expo.
There will be many beers. Yes, there will be beers at Niagara Falls. There will be beers at Fan Expo. There will be beers.
And Marianne is saying, I'll see you guys Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. I would love to, if we could have a booth and be there all 4 days. We'd share a booth with Cosplay Alliance.
Of course.
For at least 3 of the 4 days, we'd have our Predators set up on our mannequins in the booth so people can see them up close. The plan would be to have some professional cosplayers come by that people can take pictures with and get autographs. And again, like I said, we have a booth so that we can do our live podcasts, interviews with some of the people that we speak to on a daily basis. Well, not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis.
Weekly.
Oh no, there's some of the people on the channel I definitely talk to on a daily basis.
It'd be a booth for the fans, for the cosplayers, right?
It'd be a booth for the Geeks & Co. family, right?
Well, I like Michael's idea for sure. Get a keg for your booth. I think that's pretty good. I'm almost positive they're gonna have a problem with that, but I mean,
I feel like Toronto Metro Convention Center may not like the idea of us giving beer away, but
that's you and I split on a booth at Niagara Falls, Michael, because that's a fully licensed con, so we could do that.
Is it really?
It sure is.
Interesting. They sell booze there and everything.
They absolutely do. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Rob, we're going to Niagara.
Why are we just learning all this now?
Screw Van Exel, we're going to Niagara.
Yeah, no, it's a fully licensed con. It's pretty dope. I did Captain Boomerang the one time, and I walked around with an actual beer, and it was the best. Yeah, so it's already a super fun con in a super fun area, but it's a great time. Anyways,
that's the best frame for JS to freeze on.
That's exactly the best frame for him to freeze up on. Actually, he's already on Instagram.
I see that you guys are talking,
but he's at
a
sync again now, so that's good. We should probably wrap this up anyway.
Yeah, we should wrap it up.
Yeah,
it's time for the After Dark show.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Subscribe to our Patreon only for whatever it's. We don't have any of that. I'm just kidding.
No, but
we've been talking
maybe you want to. We've been talking about.
This is too good. For those of us on Instagram, for you guys still watching, unfortunately, JS is having some old man struggles. He's on the struggle bus again with the technology. We have been talking about maybe starting a Patreon up strictly for support. If we start doing some sort of an after show or whatever, we get some exclusive clips going on of stuff that's happening off camera. I'm sure we can upload those and make those something that's available to you guys. But really the only way for us to grow the channel, I mean, obviously the grassroots stuff is working great, but if we really want to get as many eyeballs in this as possible, we would have to start getting advertising and start having to pay for that kind of stuff. And I mean, we can certainly do some of that out of pocket, but if you guys want to show your support for the show and have us grow this show and you guys grow with us, then that's going to be the best way. So I did put it up on my story a little while ago about people who would support a Patreon. And I mentioned to you guys, like, no one's going to hold your feet to the fire. Only geeks. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So if you did respond in kind to that, that's great. So watch this space. It may be an announcement that's coming out soon, and it'll be JS that handles that because he's the producer and such, and he makes all this happen. So keep an eye out. And if you guys want to support the show, that's great. All the money that gets donated will all go into the show. So no one's going to be padding their wallets or anything as far as that goes. So yeah. Anyways. What do you say, guys? Are we all done for this eve?
Yeah, that's it for now. We still have to discuss what we're going to be doing next week, but for now, we've been on for quite a while. Marianne saying absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely let you guys know. Yep. We'll let you guys know. We could definitely use the support to, like Jeff was saying, we want to grow this. If you guys are able to help us out, that'd be friggin' amazing because
we just need 4 more subscribers on the YouTube to cross that 500 threshold. That would be nice to make it there. So if you're not subscribed, just go ahead and click that.
Yeah, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos. Make sure you got that notification bell set up. Every time a video comes out, the more people watch it, the more the channel gets traction. Me and Rob spent a lot of time filming a bunch of geek tests where we're trying a bunch of different things. Some of them are really, really funny. Some of them, not so much. But, there's still a good time. We've got more episodes coming out. So, yeah, make sure you check us out. Everything helps out. Even if you can't help us out financially, just subscribing to the channel and making sure you're liking and sharing the videos really, really, really helps us out. Pentakilla Cosplay is saying, sorry, I'm late, gents. Glad I caught the last 10 minutes. Hey, bud, no worries. Another person we're going to have to get on the show at one point, Great Armor Builder. I had a quick, not a quick chat. I had a 1 hour or 2 hour chat with Vera Cosplay, Pentakill Cosplay, a bunch of people over on the. Great. Yeah, so we need to get some, yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, well, listen, guys, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. We got to log off because it's been a little while. We'll see you guys next week. Stay geeky. I already said it. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks, everybody.